will take over and talk about the second A, ask to break the silence. Chandni?
Thank you, Shailaja. Myself, Chandni. I am a counselor at Manav Jagriti. So, Shailaja.
Little louder, Nana. Chandni, little louder.
Are you able to hear me now?
No.
1 second, ma'am. Is it okay now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now I am going to talk about the second day. As you know, Shailaja spoke about the fact that it is important to be aware. So now we are equipped with the awareness. Now, how do we go next from there? So the next important thing we need to know is to ask the person to break the silence. How do we go about it? You know, it is not easy to break the silence. People would hesitate. They would not speak to you. They would not open up. You need to have an attitude to help them. So what do we need to do? We need to be aware of, you know, what is happening to the people who are around us. We need to be aware of our loved ones in case they are going through an emotional turmoil. Do they need our help? It's about just being with them, being available to them, and identifying, you know, what kind of help can be offered to them. So that little extra attention which we pay to them and the way we observe them, it's going to help them over a long run to come up with the emotional, you know, come out of the emotional turmoil they are going through. So all you need to do as a counselor or even as a near and dear one is to be persistent and, you know, be patient with the person so that the person gains trust in you and is able to confide in you. So now we know that asking people to break silence is important. Now, how do we ask questions? So this is one of the techniques we need to, I can teach you some of the techniques that would help you to ask questions to help them come out of their emotional turmoil. So first, before we start asking questions, we need to keep in mind is the place and time. Because when we are talking to a person who is going through an emotional disturbance, we need to ensure that we are at a place where that person is not distracted. We are at a place where that person can open up. And just asking yes or no questions will not help us get the complete information. So we need to ask open-ended questions. That would help us to get more insight. So when we talk about open-ended questions are questions like, you know, since how long are you feeling so? What happened? What is the feeling you are going through? Because when we ask these leading questions, these follow-up questions, they lead to fact-finding and logic-finding. And when the person who's going through this emotional turmoil is emotionally, you know, emotionally he's depending on us now, so he would be able to do a lot of fact-finding about his own self. They would be able to understand their emotions better. They will be able to manage their own emotions better, and they would be able to identify what is troubling them. So one more important thing here is to use the power of silence. So when somebody is confiding in us, we need to pause. We need to stay quiet, because when we do so and we give them, you know, attention, full attention, they tell us everything. And we have to be ready to listen. We have to show empathy. We have to ensure that we are not judging them. We are not commenting on their values, value system they have. One more thing you can keep in mind while asking questions is that you acknowledge their emotions. Because when you acknowledge their emotions, they emotionally connect with you. They can vent out. And in case you're not clear, you can ask clarifying questions. You can also ensure that you're not being too direct, because when we are too direct in our questioning, that would you know, end up building stress around the person to whom are we speaking to. Once we have known that it is important to break the silence and how to ask the question, I would also like to tell you about some of the myths about asking questions. Generally, what happens if we are speaking to a person, we are trying to make a person speak and he or she is not responding, we will say that just let that person be, he doesn't want to talk. Here, as a counselor, as a loved one, you need to set aside your inhibitions to question. Because when you are questioning, you're trying to help the person. Don't stop thinking that you are bothering, stop thinking that you are bothering him. Do not hesitate. Think that if you are not worthy of helping, you will get some help, some psychological help, some professional help, but you will definitely help your near one. And last thing, don't think that if you ask question, you end up burdening the person to go through that emotional turmoil and phase once again. So this is how, if you learn this technique, even if you're not a counselor, you can help your near ones to a step closer to coming out of that. So the next thing we will be talking about would be the third A, that is to accept the person as he or she is. So my friend Sridevi would be speaking about it.
Thank you, Ms. Chandini. Myself, Sridevi Paila, counselor from Manojagrati. As you have heard from Ms. Shailaja about the 1A, that is awareness, and the second A, that is what Ms. Chandini was very clearly and very emphatically, she was elucidating about the, all the thing about it. That is asked to break the silence. Now I'm going to talk to you about the third A, that is accept the person as he or she is. When the person shows some warning signs like sudden weight loss, mood swings, avoiding social contact, decline in productivity at work, and depression, or when the person expresses the thought of ending their life, then stay calm and speak to them in a reassuring tone. Acknowledge that their feelings are legitimate. That's very important. Offer support and encouragement. Tell them help is always available and that they can be better with treatment. Now, I had an opportunity to observe a lady and the family in a very close proximity. I want to share that particular episode with you so that it will throw a lot of insight into the acceptance of the person as I'm discussing now. The lady is a very charismatic personality whom I'm talking about, pursuing a very noble profession. She was always high on emotions, very high strong emotions. She had marital issues. Her husband is a good person by himself, but she always felt that he was not a suitable person for her. She always felt her ideas never matched with him. They were poles apart. She invested, because she was so disappointed with her, marital life, she invested totally all her emotions, vested all her interests in raising her kids. She raised very beautiful, very efficient kids. But in the process, naturally, as you're observing, as I'm telling you, you can see that the lady has developed a tunnel vision of her life, that only her kids, all her hopes, everything, all her thoughts are pinned on her kids. Then when they got married, naturally, as life goes, every person will have some sort of issues, very minor issues, but she saw them as very exaggerated. She magnified those problems in her mind. At the same time, she had some financial losses also she suffered. So because of all this, she felt devastated. She started expressing to her family that I have thoughts of ending my life now. Coming to the family also developed one kind of tunnel vision towards her. They thought like, she's only emotional. She will definitely come out of her tantrums. She will try to weave her thing out. She will definitely come out of it. Maybe she's just not very serious about it. The family responded by saying, why are you talking like this? They looked at her as if it is a very normal tantrum, which she would soon overcome. She stopped eating her favorite food. They asked her, why aren't you eating? Family is good. Family is well educated. It can be frightening to look squarely into the problem. Acceptance of the behavior can be very difficult to the family members. We understand that. A catastrophe of that high nature of losing the mother could have been avoided if the family had reacted timely towards the mother. They could have saved her. Do talk openly. Be non-judgmental. Be non-confrontational. Now coming to the don'ts. Don't minimize the problems. Don't shame them. Don't ask them to change their mind. Coming to the next slide. Chandani, can you please send it? Yeah. Stay with them. Don't postpone action. Be quick in seeking professional help. See, love, compassion, empathetic hearing, active listening, all is a little support maybe, but be quick in seeking professional help is the most important thing. Empty words don't save lives. Constructive and timely help does. Now I hand over the session to Ms. Sevita, and she will be taking us through 4A, Assist for Professional and Psychological Help. Over to Ms. Sevita.
Sevita? Can we have Sevita?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Hi. Thank you, Sridevi. Myself, Sevita Mulgavelli, counselor of Manojagrati. Till now, we heard about the different types of 4As, that is, awareness. 1, 2, ask the break for the silence. 3, accept the person as he or she is. Now, let us see 4A, assist the professional psychological help. So, here I would like to say that provide the person with all the necessary resources, such as the counselor and even with the intervention program. Just try to listen them, let them know you are there for them, and reassure them that there is a way out of it. And remember, never promise total confidentiality. Explain that you may need to discuss the situation with even any others, like it may be family or it may be a good professional psychologist to get a good solution out of it. Can I put the next slide? Here, I would like to say that there are myths going in so many members, like in their minds, that visiting psychologist is wrong. They feel that visiting psychology is the people who are mad or who are crazy will go to a psychotherapy. But I feel it's literally wrong. And they also feel that talking to the family members and friends is also just effective like talking to the psychologist. But no, it really changes a lot. You can get better on your own, and trying hard work and keeping positive attitudes never change. There is something more else. And even they feel that psychologist just listening to you and paying something. Is it for only listening to your complaints? But no. And even they blame that they feel that the psychologists blame on only your parents or your childhood experience, and sadness and depression and ups and downs will be a normal, or it is a common, or it is a part of life. But it's not like that. And it is okay to be a mentally not well, and it doesn't have any effect immediately. And this may be even due to the lack of awareness and limited access to the psychologist. Now, let us see how to reach a professional psychologist and how to seek help. So, my dear friends, I would like to say that how to find a psychologist is when you need help from a trained, licensed professional with what the feelings or the problems that you beyond or which are controlled or out of control with you. I just want to add few tips which would really help you to choose a good psychiatrist or good psychiatrist. To find a psychologist, ask your physician or any other health professional. You can even call your local or state psychologist association. Consult a local university or college departments of related to psychology. You can even ask your friends, families, contract with the area committee with mental health centers. And psychologist and clinical works together, and the right match is really very, very important. The rapport with a counselor and this client is a very good rapport. Choose one with whom you feel comfortable and with whom you can move very easily. And the essential psychology help people in larger part because it can explain why people act the way they do. Yes. And we have even like Mitra, the Manojagrati intervention from Transformation Psychology First Aid Helpline. This is a free helpline number, that is 1800-102-1517. I just want to repeat again, 1800-102-1517. Thank you. I hope this would really help you a lot. Okay, now I like to hand it over to Usha. Let us listen to a song about the importance of life.
So before Usha speak, I just wanted to just introduce this Kiran Mental Health Rehabilitation Helpline by Government of India. We'll be posting this, complete brochure in the group, the two groups, so that all of you can get benefited. So this is now Government of India has launched this. Anybody can access, psychotherapy or, advice in mental health using this Kiran helpline, which is launched, and it is 24/7, and it is in 13 languages. And in different regional languages also they are doing it. Okay, so we'll be posting it in the group, so not to worry much. And one maybe request to the participants who are listening to us, we have our Usha, the beautiful singer. I think she will be singing the song in Hindi language. I don't know whether you will be understanding, but definitely I will ask or request Usha to give the meaning of the song and sing the song. Yes, Usha, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, definitely I'm going to tell you the meaning of the song. నేను పాడే పాట జీవితం యొక్క ప్రాముఖ్యత గురించి పాడుతున్నాను. సో నేను పాడే ముందు మీకు దాని గురించి అర్థం చెప్తాను. ఫ్రెండ్స్, జీవితం అనేది ఒక పాట. అది ప్రతి మనసు పాడుకోవాలి. జీవితం విచారాలతో నిండి ఉన్న సముద్రం. దాన్ని మనం నవ్వుతూ దాటేయాలి. జీవితం ఒక చిక్కుముడి, కానీ అదే జీవితం మనకి ఒక నేస్తంగా కష్టంలోనూ సుఖంలోనూ తోడుగా ఉంటుంది. జీవితం ఒక వాగ్దానం, దాన్ని ప్రతి ఒక్కరూ నిలబెట్టుకోవాలి. సో హియర్ వి గో ఫ్రెండ్స్, ఐఎమ్ సింగింగ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ హిందీ. जिंदगी प्यार का गीत है, इसे हर दिल को गाना पड़ेगा. जिंदगी गम का सागर भी है, हंस के उस पार जाना पड़ेगा. जिंदगी प्यार का गीत है, इसे हर दिल को गाना पड़ेगा. जिंदगी एक पहेली भी है, सुख दुख की सहेली भी है. ला 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 ला. जिंदगी एक पहेली भी है, सुख दुख की सहेली भी है. जिंदगी एक वचन भी तो है, जिसे सबको निभाना पड़ेगा. जिंदगी प्यार का गीत है, इसे हर दिल को गाना पड़ेगा. Thank you. Now over to you, ma'am. You would like to enlighten us on the psychological first aid for suicidal prevention and the 10 techniques.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the beautiful part of the 10 techniques which are awaited by most of the participants, if I am thinking right. I promise to give you 10 techniques of psychological first aid. Then I would do my best to give you the 10 techniques in the given time. So basically, before we get into the techniques, I just wanted to talk about the meaning of psychological first aid. See, whenever we have a hurt to the body, or we fall down, or someone falls down, or some wound is there, or some small scratch is there, immediately, or some burning on the hand or something, near the stove you got hurt, immediately you go to mother or someone in the family, you go and they will put the Bernol, or they will put the ointment, or they will put something to help you, and sometimes you put the Band-Aid. So this is a first aid. We know what to do, and every school will have a first aid kit. Every institution will have a first aid kit where we have Dettol, cotton, some Band-Aid, everything is ready. But are we looking into the psychological first aid? If someone is hurt, if someone is depressed, if someone is not feeling well, and someone went wrong in the relationship, there is a breakup, there is a loss, it could be anything, any trauma. So the stress after the trauma, that is, post-trauma, there is a lot of stress which requires psychological first aid. So the psychological first aid was introduced not today. The word was introduced in 2006. In 2006, when this was used as a technique to help the people who are suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder. So this was developed in, the word was introduced in 2006, which was used as a first aid for the people who come out of the trauma and still have that stress in the mind. So they don't want them to go back. They want them to go forward. So this is where psychological first aid, the word, term. So here, as we do for the body, we also should do for the mind. Yeah. Chalo. Then I just want to give you more details about the psychological first aid. There are 5 steps. If you want to do the, general first aid for the body, you will apply some, as I said, Bernol and, Dettol and, put something like that. But now here what to do? As we already discussed, but I want to give in the words, if you have a screenshot, please take it. If you do not have notebook and pen, please take notebook and pen and try to take it. The first, 5 steps are, first listen to them. Break the silence and listen to them. Whatever they speak, just listen to them when somebody is in stress or trauma. Then you try to protect them. See, because actually because of time, we didn't speak about all those things, but we have rich information about suicide. So we should protect them. We should keep them away from the dangerous things, rope, gun, or, some material. So you should protect them, save them first. And then you should connect to them. It's not just listening and going away. No, you need to have some connection that is, that heart-to-heart connection. Always connection. It is like, it starts from the eye contact to the connection through words, connection to the heart. Connect with them and also model. Modeling is you be a role model. You be a model for them to, follow you. Because they will be having all, more adaptive behaviors when they are into this, trauma or stress or any physical, psychological problem. So we need to show them that this is the way you can behave. This is the way you can be. So modeling is important for them. It's not telling will help. Modeling will help. And then we need to, sometimes it is required to teach them also. They may not know. No, I don't know how to do. I don't know. I'm not able to do it. It's okay. Please help them, teach them, demonstrate and practice with them. That's what helps them. See, someone with a lot of anxiety, what they will do? They need to do a lot of, relaxation techniques. They need to, relax their mind and body. You teach 10-5-10, you teach, breathing technique, conscious breathing, body muscle relaxation or guided imagery. No, that doesn't help them. Make them do, teach them how to do, be with them when they are doing, you demonstrate, they do, or both of you together do it. That is what is the psychological first aid. Okay. Then we have again, objectives of psychological first aid. Why we need to do the, the major objective is basically, one thing is connecting with them. Second one is showing some compassionate, being with them in a compassionate manner. And also the other thing, as we discussed, safety is important, and also creating some emotional comfort. I will go to the techniques. I will teach you how about emotional ventilation or understanding emotions and all those things. And finally, please be calm and orient emotionally, because they are overwhelmed with their emotions. They are not calm. They cannot be calm. I'll give you a live example of someone yesterday I met, not met through phone. I spoke to someone who is completely into, she's just out of some traumatic situation at home. Now she's not able to really focus on anything. She's disturbed. And the psychological first aid which I gave for half an hour yesterday night, I taught her about the, conscious breathing, window watching, a mindfulness technique. I just tried giving her some, basic techniques of calming down herself. That is what is required. You cannot start CBT before you start doing these things. Yeah? Chalo. Then, simply speaking, look, listen, and what is and? Link. Look, listen, and link. These are the three things which you need to do if you want to do the psychological first aid. Yeah? Then, we'll start with the techniques now. As we wanted to teach you 10 techniques. Number one, we call it as being a gatekeeper. So I don't know if I will enable the chat box. Then I want the participants to please don't unmute yourself. Please chat. Let me know about. I just want you to write few negative thoughts which you can observe in a person with suicidality. Negative thoughts which you observe in a person with suicidality. Anybody can type. Now the chat box is enabled. Yes. Yes, all of you. Can I get the thoughts? Yes. Yes. Thought. I am a burden to all. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah, please. I'm the worst person. Nobody is ready to accept me. No one understands my pain. No one understands me. Yes. 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 I did everything in wrong. That is a guilty feeling they will have. Okay. Why I was born? I am a failure. Okay. Right. Nobody respects me. Like this you can go and on and on and on. So these are negative thoughts. Let me tell you, negative thoughts are like cats. Negative thoughts are like cats, and when you are into this sort of situation, the negative thoughts keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. They will not stop. They will keep coming actually. So what to do? Here, this is a very interesting technique. All of you, can you hold your ear? I don't see your videos on because these techniques from now, please, all the participants I request, if possible, please switch on your video and just follow me. Hold your ear. Yes. Yes. Very good. And then, what is the spelling of this? What is this? It is E-A-R, ear. Okay. So, whenever any person, it's not someone into suicidality, it can be everyone, every one of us, every day we get negative thoughts. So, have this technique in mind, E-A-R, examine your thoughts. Be mindful about your thoughts. Be aware about your thoughts. What is going on in your mind? क्या हो रहा है मेरे अंदर? मेरे अंदर क्या चल रहा है? Please understand the thought process. See, generally we observe others, we don't observe our thoughts, never. It's very hard to understand. So examine. Then accept if it is a positive thought or it is a helping thought. And reframe if it is a negative thought. There is no rejection. Rejection is something else. We cannot talk it, but it's not rejection. It's more about reframing the thought. So if you are able to do this, rejection or acceptance, or sorry, reframing or acceptance, that will help you. But how I should do it? That's why I gave the technique, be a gatekeeper. But be a gatekeeper to whom? Anybody answer in the chat? You should be, I'm telling you that you should be the gatekeeper. For whom you should be the gatekeeper? Yes? Anybody? Very good, very good, very good. Yes. You should be the gatekeeper for your mind. You should be the gatekeeper for your mind so that you are able to, understand them and stop them. Yeah? Second. Yeah. See, I don't know whether you have it or not, but if you have a white paper or, if you have something in your hand, paper, some small paper also is okay. Just make it like this. Yeah, and try to see from this. What is that you can see? I can see a small space in my room. I can see a small space in my room. Yes. Yeah. So what do you see from when you see from the tunnel? Yeah, you see the, can I have in the chat? Yes, what do you see? Yes, you know, trying to see from the tunnel. You can see only the small space. That is a small space you can see. Yeah. So now, if we are trying to see only the small space in the small space, yeah, then you can see only those things. You will see only problems. You will see only hurdles. You will see only weakness. You cannot see anything around you. So break the tunnel vision is the technique. Break the tunnel vision. Try to see something else in your life. Again, there are more techniques to break the tunnel vision. You can get into that. But to begin with, break the tunnel vision. Try to look around. You will find lot of things around you. Yes, Vijay Lakshmi, absolutely right. So this is called break the tunnel vision. Please make them do it. Please make them understand what is around you. So for this, actually, we give 20 circles activity. 20 circles activity is like you ask the person to draw 20 circles in a paper and try to ask them to write their problem in one circle. Their problem should be, or their issue should be written in one circle. And then ask them to fill the 19 circles. There should be many things, Loving husband could be there, supportive parents can be there, or education can be there, or talent is there. So there are so many 19 things around. So this 20 circle activity can help the person to look around, break the tunnel vision. Yeah. So this is second thing, we call it as break the tunnel vision, right? Very good. And now I have this a small remote control in my hand. This is like, AC wala control. And when you look at this from this end, what is that you are able to see in this? You can see the numbers. You can see them, buttons here. Yes, you can see, small, the number 18 AC is going on. Okay. Now, can you see, if I turn this, remote this side, what is it you can see? Nothing, no, you cannot see a screen, you cannot see the buttons, you can see only something written on the small sticker is there. And if I show it like this, you can see a straight line. So, see, when I'm trying to change the angle, the same remote control or, this is seen in a different ways. But actually, basically, this is one. This is not many. This is one. But our perception is changed. We are perceiving in a different way. There is a story of elephant, right? Visually challenged because, they asked me, I don't know. I don't want to tell the story because I promised the visually challenged people that I'm not going to tell the story in any webinar. Sorry, I started, but I will not tell the story. Okay, fine. So now this is changing the angle, is changing the perception, right? So how you, in which angle you see the problem will change. Meer ela chuste ala kanipistundi. Okay, right. Change the angle, whatever you have, you change the angle and see, it will look in a different way. Yeah, right. Very good, very good. There was, there was a class going on, and teacher asked one fellow that, maybe he draw one line like this, one line on the board, and he asked the students that, see, this is a line of 5 centimeters. Now, can anybody in this class can come and make it small without touching it? Can any one of you come and make it small without touching it? That was a task given, and everyone came to that and tried from here and there. They should not touch. How the line will become small? So they were trying to do that here and there. But finally, there was a small, very humble child who came and just to draw one big line, beside the line which is given by the teacher. Then automatically this line becomes smaller and this line is big. Yes, yes. Thank you, Sumana. Yes, I don't know your name. I'm not able to spell your name. Sumrana, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So you can make the line bigger by drawing a small line. You can make the line smaller by drawing a bigger line. So now what is that I'm trying to tell you? See, generally you feel low, you feel worthless, or people feel worthless because they compare it with others. They compare with others. They look for others. She is very beautiful. I do not have that much hair. And she is that. I do not have that. She is having a lot of money. I do not have. A lot of comparisons. So accept yourself as you are. Never compare with others. This is a wonderful technique which will help you, that acceptance will start and you will not compare with anybody and you will not feel low. And this comparison, let me tell you, you can take a challenge of 24 hours. I'm not talking about many days. Please take challenge of 24 hours and tell yourself that I am not going to compare. I'm not going to compare anything with anything in the world. ఈ ప్రపంచంలో నేను దేన్ని కంపేర్ చేయను. I'm not comparing. Please try for 24 hours and get back to me. It's very tough. At this moment also I'm trying to compare. I'm telling you, and my mind is going in a comparison mode. I'm trying to look at something back and I'm going forth. So do not compare is a technique, right? Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good. Yes. Yes. All of you scribble on the paper. All of you scribble on the paper. Whatever way you want. Don't stop yourself. Please draw completely as you are a small child, you scribble, not on the screen. Who is doing it? Good boys and good girls, but don't do it on the screen. Huh? Don't do it on the screen. You can do it on your paper. Do it on paper. I can see your name, don't do it. Okay. So scribble on the paper, can I see? One of you please show me your scribbles. Just scribble and show me. Did you do it? Yes? Very good. Very good. Yes. See, this is what we used to do. This is what we used to do when we are very small, very young. We used to scribble. There is no restrictions, no expectations, and no one to judge us. So we used to do whatever we want. See, today, because of judgment, because of expectations, we are trying to hold our emotions back. We are trying to hold our emotions. So, sometimes we feel very embarrassed. We feel very, odd in front of people. No, that's okay. See, in the beginning of the workshop, something went wrong. And someone, I don't know whether they are there, that's fine. But, they are fine in their place and we are fine in our place. But that was a little embarrassing situation for me as a director of the whole thing or, as a coordinator. But still, I didn't lose smile on my face. I didn't lose smile on my face. I managed the situation very humbly, requesting them and assuring them about the situation. This is what is, important about emotions. But you cannot hold emotions continuously like this. There should be some ventilation. There should be some ventilation. So art is the best medium of ventilation of emotions. Please use colors. Please use colors to ventilate your emotions. You can draw, scribble, you can do, drawing, or you can paint, you can do anything. Okay? Thank you. And anyone interested from the group, not our counselors, but outside, people who are here, if you are interested to learn more about this particular art, please contact me. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Chalo. Lavanya, can we have next slide? Yes. Yeah. See, again, this is, yeah, please contact me, Sumrana. You're welcome. So 10 positive thought journal is an interesting technique which we actually give For this, actually, there are three things I can tell you here. One is positive thought journal, one is gratitude journal, and the other one you can add here is your confidence box. Confidence box. See, number one is daily you write 10 important things or, good things happened in your life. Write down 10 things which happened good in your life so that you feel better in life. The tunnel vision will be broken. And second one, we call it as gratitude journal. It is please thank minimum 5 people. Slides are not visible. Okay. Sridevi, can you see the slide? Can you see the slide? What is seen in the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Gratitude box.
Okay. Thank you so much. So gratitude journal, please thank 5 people every day. Please thank 5 people every day night. And someone asked, my client was asking, Madam, whom I should thank every day? Whom I should thank every day? Then I said, you can thank your servant maid, you can thank your watchman, you can thank your daughter, your son, and anybody on the earth, like whoever it is, a smile, someone gave you smile, thank them for giving you smile. So this is gratitude journal, 5 people every day. And the other one you can add here is confidence box. Please have a nice box at home, decorate it and label it as a confidence box. And every time you feel confident, you write a small sheet about the situation which made you confident and put it in the box. And as you put this, sentences, that slips into it, that will become a nice khajana for you, treasure for you. And then when you are feeling low, when you are going back, when something went wrong in your life, please open the box and try to read them. There are so many things which will help you. No need of anybody. Those chits will help you. Okay? Chalo. And then next technique would be, see, there is I want to give clarity here quickly. We think that giving hope is telling someone that everything will go okay, sab kuch acha ho jayega tera. Nahin, that is not hope. That is not hope. Everything will go fine is not hope. Situation will change. See, this corona is there. This situation will change and you should be ready to face it. That is hope. And someone come with the financial problem and you say, nahi, aapko paisa aa jayega. Everything will go okay, you will get lakhs of rupees. That is not hope. You should tell them that this situation will not be there, but be ready to face it. That is hope. Okay? So develop practical hope in the person. Don't give the false hope. Yeah. And then mindfulness. See, yeah, I cannot, talk about the mindfulness in one, this thing, but let us talk about pad your 5 senses. Pad your 5 senses. In the chat, please, can we, ask you fadafat and, please write what can, pad your ears. Kya kar sakte? If you want to pad your ears, what you can do? What you can do? Kya kar sakte aap? Yes. Anything in chat box? Music. Very good. Very good. Please, I want some of you to write because I want others to see. Yes, counselors. Music. Yes. Listening to music, listening to good advice. Okay. Chalo. If you want to pat your eyes, what will you do? If you want to pat your eyes, kya kar sakte aap? If you want to make them feel good, aanko kya kar sakte aap? Kya dikha sakte? Yeah, nature, beauty, books. Very good. Nature walk, looking into the nature. Very good. Very good. Nice. So nice. Colorful. Right. And if you want to pat your nose, smell. Yes. Lavender oil, cooking some delicious food. Yes. This food will help you for the tongue and also your nose. Yeah, very good. And for the touch sense, kya kar sakte? If you want to, pat your, skin, massage, soft toys, massage bhi kar sakte, or hug someone, and nice bath. Yes, warm water bathing. Very good. Chalo. Thank you so much. Okay. So now this is called pat your five senses. To do this, you can actually do, mindful eating you can do. That is, you can eat chocolate with your five senses. You can smell the chocolate, you can, listen to the chocolate sound. Everything can be done. Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you. Chalo. We are coming to the end of it, and we'll be closing the, session in few minutes. Just give us 10 minutes of extra time. 6 was, promised, but 10 minutes we are closing the session. So be a fish in the water. Very interesting technique. I will ask you, any one of you can answer in the chat. See, imagine this fish is staying in, this fish is staying for 1 year in the water. 1 year in the water. Do you think this fish will become water? Answer in the chat. That is staying for 1 year in the, water. Will it become water? No. No, my question is why it should become no? It should become water because it stayed for 1 year. It should become water, right? Because it is staying in the water. Yeah. It will not become water. Even if it stay for 10 years also, fish is fish, water is water. Now, not possible. But we listen to people telling that, ma'am, actually before marriage, I was actually very good, very confident. But being in my, in-laws place, lot of disturbance, lot of disappointments, lot of people commenting on me or, putting me into wrong place, I become completely different. I'm not the old Radha. I'm a new Radha now. How it is possible according to this theory? Fish in the water will be fish, it will not become water. Any person in any situation, the situation will be different, situation will be there, but you are there same. Your confidence is same. You cannot become a different person. Your confidence will not go, your thinking will not go, anything will not go. You are there. So this is called, accept that situations can change, but I am same. This is from ACT therapy. I'm just giving you techniques from different therapies. So, be a fish in the water. Don't change into water in any situation in your life. Just be a fish. Hold yourself back. Originality को मत बोलना है आपका. Marriage होने दो, divorce होने दो, कुछ भी होने दो. Whatever it is, you be the same what you are. That is fish in the water technique. Okay? Chalo. Last technique. Yes. Madam Lavanya? Yeah. See, I will give you one small there was a girl, if I die is an imagery session we do for half an hour. So I have done one session. If I die, what happened? So that is clear ke baad, there was something went wrong. And about to hang herself. She went into the room, she took the rope, she tied and everything was ready and she was on the table and she was about to just drag it, just do it. Final last minute of her suicide. Then what happened? She remembered the technique, the experience which she got in the Mitra class, if I die. We used to say that if you die, what will happen? Please think of your loved ones before you die. Before you attempt suicide, before you commit a suicide, please think about, she just stepped out of the room, table pe niche aa gayi, and she came out and she opened the door and she called her father. She was in a hostel room. She called father and said, Papa, I wanted to die, but now I'm not going to because I'm thinking about you. She started crying in the phone. And he called the, everybody, and the story is different. But after 1 year, after that, they came to me and this example was given in front of 300 people. 300 parents and students, they gave this example. Ma'am, I was about to die, but this one technique saved me. Think about your loved ones. Beautiful technique. Okay. So please give this small sentence to people that think about your loved ones before you think of suicide. Yes. And then self-acceptance is important in, there are three things which are important. There are three things which are not, should not be done or should not be hold with you. One is self-acceptance. However you are, accept yourself. Start loving yourself from today. And also self-confidence and esteem ko rakh lena. Please keep your self-esteem with you. Please stay confident. These are do's. And don'ts. Self-handicapping. Self-handicapping is you have the mouth, you say that I cannot sing. And you have hands, but you say that I cannot write, I cannot play. That is self-handicapping. I know, but I cannot do it. Self-handicapping. Self-blaming. Yes, because of me, this is all done. This is all happening because of me. Self-blame. That is guilty feeling. Never hold guilt. Guilt is a major reason for suicide. And then finally, self-doubt. Self-doubt. Can I do? Will I be able to do? Nen cheyagalana? Nen cheyalena? Yeah. Kiranmai, we'll talk. Personally, I really, empathize with you. I'm trying to see your message. We will definitely connect with you and we will talk to you. Okay. So these things, please make a note of it. And before, we conclude, I have a small 2 minutes of poem by Nirmala. Then we have a small question answer and then we will close the session with a oath taking. If you have candles, please have your candles and matchbox ready, counselors. Meanwhile, Nirmala will read out the poem. Yes, Nirmala?
Yeah, good evening all. Thank you, ma'am, for...
One second. I request the counselors who are there, one of them please take the screenshots of oath taking because I cannot take. Some of you, please try to take the screenshots when we are doing the this thing, please. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Poem by Nirmala.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this opportunity. I Nirmala count from Manojagriti. Life is a journey with many ups and downs. There will never be a life without problems and troubles. Life doesn't mean all happiness alone, and we have to face each and every problem. Life is a gift by God, but we have to shape it to a happy one. Life is a mountain. We have to climb it to achieve success. Life is not that how long we have lived, but how we have lived it. Life is not about the past or the future, but it is about the present. Our life is not just for us alone, but it should be there for all. If you enjoy during its first half, you may suffer during the next. If you toil hard in the first, you are rewarded in the next. Life is gifted by God, but we have to build it with our own efforts. Life tastes sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. And so, let us have as it comes by. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Beautifully said. Sevita, can you have your video on? Because I want to see the screen, with video, this thing, so that. Okay. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Before we close, I thought of taking the oath because whenever we do the work suicide prevention, we do this, oath taking activity. So if you have candle in your hand, please have the candle in left hand and also just try to keep your hand like this, right? So that, and unmute yourself. All of you unmute yourself. so that you can repeat with me. You can repeat with me. Yes, Parvati. Thank you so much, Parvati Garu. Thank you so much, because we tried our best to make the workshop, good, interesting. Okay, chalo. Yes, even if someone is not having the candle also, you can actually take, unmute yourself and please follow us. Okay? Yeah, thank you.
Dance Julian
Sunita,
normal Julian.
you're speaking with someone. Who is this, Sunita? Sunita? This Sunita. Okay, please. So this oath is only to, just to make this memorable one. Right. Yes, try to repeat with me, all of you. Unmute yourself. When I say I, you should tell your name and then tell the whole thing. I'll make it very small and sweet. Okay. After this today's webinar, all of us, let us take oath, common the objective behind this oath is to just make it memorable one, so that whenever you see someone who need help, you will be helping them. This will become an anchor for you to help someone. Idi meeku oka manasulo కూర్చోవాలి, ముద్రగా ఉండాలని ఇది చేస్తున్నాను. I will, just repeat with me, I will always mindful of the signals of suicide.
Of the signals of suicide.
So carefully. I will ask about the issue without any inhibition, and help others. I will be non-judgmental.
And empathetic.
I will never say no.
Never say no.
For someone who comes for help.
Someone who comes for help.
I will follow confidentiality.
Confidentiality.
And keep the information safe.
Information safe.
I will create awareness among the society about the prevention of suicide, to best of my efforts. Thank you so much. Can we have the candle? Like this. I really love the candle, this thing. Every October 10th, generally we have a candle show. We are missing this time. I don't know whether you'll be doing it or not. Thank you so much. And then we'll keep the candle here. And then we have concluding remarks by Lavanya. For that, any participants, if you have a specific question, small questions, we can take 3 or 4 questions. Then we'll say bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
The line is now open for questions.
Yes.
You can type your questions in the chat box and that will be addressed.
Yes. Any specific question you have, you can ask. Or any comment also fine. Yes, Sumrana. I can see you very interestingly sitting and taking the session. Do you want to say something, Sumrana?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
I just tried.
Boliye.
Good evening, madam. Thank you so much for this interesting session. My question was, how to deal with the jealous people around us, any of his relatives? I'm very jealous. How to deal with them?
Right. So how to deal with people who are jealous around?
Should be per hour. Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I cannot answer in 1 or 2 minutes, but definitely I'll send you a small note on it.
Sure.
Yes? I ask my counselor Sevita, please make a note of this.
Yes.
We are sending Sumrana this information later. We'll send. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. Madhavi Anand, thank you for attending. Are you there?
Yeah, thank you, Geeta. I'm actually, COVID positive. I'm recovering. So that's why my video was also off. But your session was amazing. You are one of the best person I have ever met. And thank you for this opportunity. You're doing a wonderful thing. And anytime you need my services, I'll always be there. Thank you. I learned so much today. I learned new techniques as well. Thank you, Geeta. You're amazing.
Thank you so much. She was one of the best counselor, REBT therapist. Madhavi, thank you for being with us. Madhavi, thank you so much. Yeah. So anybody else? I think we are done. Lavanya, can you, yes, anything you can contact us and you can write your feedback in the group or you can contact us personally. Yeah. Thank you so much. And then over to Lavanya for conclusion.
Ma'am, there was a question from Kiran Yadav. He's asking how to feel confidence, and I feel I'm lacking in confidence.
See, well, let me tell you one thing. The confidence is nowhere. Confidence is not outside. Confidence is here. It is within us. But it is actually covered by some, incidents, some experiences, some people around you, just push it inside. I just want to tell you that just remove one by one and look into yourself. You are confident. Because God's creation, the human beings all of us are confident, but because of the situation, we just think that we are not confident. That's it. Just look into yourself. We have a module by name self-transformation. Maybe I can share you some of the worksheets with you. It's okay too. So please contact Sevita. We'll help you about the confidence building worksheets. That will help you. Yeah. Thank you.
There was one more question from Shabnam. Ma'am, how to help the person in depression and low energy to work on self?
See, again, depression, it's a very big word to use. Depression, it's a big word to use. If you find a person with depression, two things